So enhancing your landscape photography is easy. Outside of your composition, you can just get a couple of filters that will help elevate your photography to the next level. Let's take a look inside my bag and I'll show you what filters that I'm using and how they can help you out with your photography. So today we're going to go over filters. The first two things I want to show you is the mounts for your filters. The first type is going to be your standard circular filter that will screw onto the front of your lens. And in this case of a polarizer has a sliding bit there that you can adjust with. The next part is going to be a filter holder, which has similar to the screw-in filter, an adapter ring that goes onto the front of your lens, and then the holder itself that clips onto that adapter ring that you slide square filters in and out of. So the two type of filters that I'm going to go through today, the first is going to be the neutral density filter. The neutral density filter gives you a couple of advantages over just taking photos without any kind of filtration at all. The first advantage of that is going to be long exposure photography. A neutral density filter will actually darken your scene. I'll show an example here. Will darken your scene. It's basically a piece of tinted glass, much like tinting the windows on your car, that will go over the front of your lens to help darken the image to allow you to take a longer exposure, especially in brighter light. The second advantage of a neutral density filter is also along the same lines of being able to control your aperture. So again, in those brighter scenes, you throw a neutral density filter on to help block the light, you can open your aperture wider to allow you a shallower depth of field in order to really add some drama to your scene. If you're really trying to focus in on the particular pieces of your scene or a particular spot within your scene, you can narrow that depth of field by adding a neutral density filter to help reduce the amount of light getting to your sensor. Then the next advantage is going to be balancing your exposure. Using a neutral density filter that is a gradient, you can actually create that darkening or reduce the amount of light coming over your scene by using a neutral density filter that is graduated. As you can see, my fingers behind here will kind of disappear behind the filter itself. There's a gradient between allowing all the light and blocking light that will help you create that gradient between reducing your exposure but then leaving other parts of your scene exposed. The last advantage of using a neutral density filter is going to be to create a better quality image. By creating a better quality image, you're going to reduce the amount of light entering your lens, which would then reduce your lens flares, any ghosting, or any other unwanted visual artifact. By removing those visual artifacts, you're creating a better image and creating better image quality. The other filter that I use regularly for taking my landscape photos is going to be a circular polarizer. So the circular polarizer, like this one, screws onto the front of the camera, or I actually have a particular circular polarizer that will screw directly into the filter holder that I have as well. So what a circular polarizer will do for you is it helps you reduce things like glare and reflections. By reducing glare and reflections on your surfaces, and it doesn't matter what kind of surface it is, anything that is wet, like water, so the surface of water, a wet rock, even the surface of foliage will help reduce that glare, will help bring out some of the vibrancy and color within those objects. So the last advantage I'll go over with a circular polarizer is the creative concepts that you can use with that. So being able to reduce the glare of your image will help you to be able to pull out some details from your objects, from your scene and your subjects within your scene. Think of a stream or a pool of water at the bottom of a waterfall. If you pull that glare out, you can see into that stream or pool and be able to discern some of the details of the stream bed or the pool that is in. Might be able to get more color out of it, but those details then come out of it into your image. So that about wraps it up for this week. Thank you for coming with me on this quick tutorial on what filters you can use to help elevate your landscape photography. If you do use filters in your photography, let me know of that in the comments below as to what filters you use, where, and why you use them. Thank you very much for coming along. Like I said, if you could give me a like on this video, that would be great. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, please get out there, take some great photos, and I'll see you again next week.